Once upon a time, after the evil queen was defeated, Snow White lived peacefully in the castle. One morning, while tending to her rose garden, she noticed something unusual. A bluebird with golden-speckled feathers, unlike any she had ever seen before, fluttered toward her, carrying a shimmering letter in its beak. Snow White gently took the letter and read, "To the fairest one of all, beyond the forest, a forgotten kingdom sleeps. Only you can awaken it." Her heart filled with wonder and a touch of worry. She hurried to the cottage of the 7 dwarfs. "That part of the forest is cursed," Doc warned. "No one who enters ever returns," added Grumpy. But Bashful shyly handed her an old forest map, and Happy pressed a wooden charm into her hand, a carving of a star. "It brings good luck," he smiled. "You might need it." Before Snow White could step onto the forest path, Doc adjusted his glasses and cleared his throat. "Now, Snow White, remember, magic is a curious thing," he said wisely. "It always gives something, but sometimes it takes something too." "Take something?" Snow White asked, tilting her head. Happy nodded. "Not always something bad, just something unexpected." Bashful fidgeted with his hat. "Some say the oldest magic, the kind that can break great curses, asks for a little piece of what you brought with you." "Like what?" she asked curiously. Grumpy huffed. "Who knows? A memory, a dream, a tiny little thing you didn't even realize you had." Snow White smiled softly, holding the wooden star charm they had given her. "I will be careful," she promised, "and I will not forget who I am." Snow White nodded gratefully, wrapped a cloak around her shoulders, and with the bluebird on her shoulder and the charm in her pocket and a hopeful heart, she ventured beyond the forest she once knew. Snow White followed the map deep into the woods, where ancient trees whispered secrets and wildflowers glowed under moonlight. At last, she reached a hidden clearing and gasped. Before her stood a once glorious kingdom, now overtaken by ivy and silence. The people were frozen mid-step, like statues of stone and sorrow. Then a voice, soft as wind, echoed, "You have come at last." Snow White turned to see a tall woman in a flowing midnight blue cloak. Her silver eyes shimmered with sadness. "Who are you?" Snow White asked. "I am Lady Morana, the sister of the evil queen," the woman replied. Snow White stepped back in shock. "The queen had a sister?" "She erased me from history," Morana said. "She feared my kindness might undo her reign, so she cursed my kingdom, locked it in time." Her voice trembled. "And I was forgotten." Snow White felt a pang of sorrow. Had she been sent into a trap? Or was this woman truly in need? There was only one way to find out. "To free my people," said Morana, "you must find the Crystal Grove, the heart of this land's magic. But it lies beyond 3 enchanted trials." Snow White nodded firmly. "If there are lives at stake, I'll face whatever comes." With the bluebird flying ahead and the dwarf's charm around her neck, she pressed on. Here, trees hissed doubts. "You'll fail. You're just a girl in a cape." Snow White simply smiled and sang. Her voice rose like sunlight through shadows, and the forest fell silent in awe. In its silver waters, she saw her own past. The poisoned apple, the queen's cruel laugh. But instead of fear, Snow White felt compassion. "She was broken long before she broke others," she whispered. And the river parted, showing the path forward. A glowing mirror asked her, "What is stronger, power or kindness?" Snow White gently replied, "Kindness, because power fades, but love leaves light behind." The mirror shimmered, then shattered into stars, revealing the entrance to the Crystal Grove. At the grove's center stood a crystalline tree, its branches glowing with ancient magic. Snow White reached out, but Morana appeared once more, her expression solemn. "Before you break the spell," she said, "you must know the truth." She told her story, not of evil, but of exile for being too kind. "I cannot undo what my sister cursed," she whispered. "Only one with a heart like yours can. Use the magic to restore the kingdom." Morana's voice was soft, but there was something thoughtful in her silver eyes. "But magic like this always gives something. And sometimes it takes something too." Snow White gasped as she suddenly remembered Doc's words. If you use this power, you may forget why you came, the letter, the forest, the dwarfs, even your own name. Her fingers tightened around the wooden star charm. She had come so far. Then came a choice. Use the magic to restore the kingdom, but risk forgetting why she came, the letter, the forest, even her own name. Or trust Morana, give her the chance she was once denied. Snow White looked at the bluebird, felt the star charm warm in her hand, and smiled. I choose trust. She offered Morana her hand, and with that, the grove burst with light. The crystal tree's branches shimmered, sending waves of golden magic through the air. The statues trembled, then gasped, blinking, breathing, alive once more. The kingdom, frozen in sorrow, awoke to laughter and life. Snow White returned home, her heart full of lessons learned. The dwarves greeted her with relief, and the kingdom celebrated her bravery. But Snow White knew this was not just her story. It was a story of redemption, trust, and the power of kindness. And deep in the enchanted forest, Lady Morana ruled wisely, forever grateful to the princess who saved her. Because in the end, the fairest of them all is not the one with beauty, but the one with the kindest heart. The end.